The winner of the U.S. Open, J. Spaun, started his day going to CVS at 3 a.m. because his daughter was throwing up. Ended the day winning the U.S. Open on Father's Day, perhaps the most dad life Sunday of all time.
If you added the baby with that Scotty Scheffler had with the poop on his back, that would have only made this even more so dad life.
The wife couldn't have gone to CVS the day he's playing a U.S. Open? What? Babe, I have the U.S. Open today. I know, but last time I went to CVS at 3:30 in the morning. Are you kidding me? That's wild. Where's the selflessness in this marriage? That's what the headline should be around. Selfish marriage, Spaun overcomes. As a newly married guy, okay, let me give him and his wife a piece of advice. When you are going to go bring home the bacon at the U.S. Open, your wife has to go pick up the stuff at CVS. Scott, can you attest for this?
Crazy to me. Just put a couple years under your belt there as a newly married man, and then you guys will see. This back and forth is a little more cloudy, a little more shaky, a little more...
Scott, I think, trust me, I got it all figured out. You see this ring? On 4 weeks of matrimony, okay? Let me show you something. I got it all figured out. Look how tan I am. Okay, we got a lot of big life events here. I am so tan. I'm the tannest on the show, back from the honeymoon, which you guys can ask me all about. And Scott's over here after Father's Day with his second baby. He has doubled his fatherhood overnight, and he is back on the show. Mike, let's give a round of applause for Scott. Welcome back. Good Scott. 200% increase in his fatherhood.
Yeah, I've hit replacement rate with me and my wife, so we're good. We're doing our part.
Hey, South Korea, Japan, take notes. Do what Scott's doing. Look at that. That's how you replace a country. There we go. Scott, what's going on, dude? How's your sleep? How's your feelings? How's your dad juice? We have actually, here's the thing. We have really high expectations. Mike, we have really high expectations for Scott now that he's back, now that he has double the dad juice. Yeah, and he has fresh legs. Fresh legs. He's so fresh. So fresh.
Dad juice might not be the best way to put it, but I'm a little foggy. I'm a little hazy. I'm a little, let's call it haggard, mentally, physically, all the above. Sleep, it's a rarity. It's honestly just one of the, it's gold in my life right now. And if I come across it, it's a flake here, a flake there, and that's about it.
What kind of hours you putting up?
Eyes open or closed?
Usually when I sleep, it's eyes closed, you weirdo.
Well, when you're a dad, you sleep with one eye open. But I don't know, maybe
can't trust anybody. Especially that new kid. Yeah. You don't even know him. Don't even know. He just doesn't like to talk to me. It's scary. It's uneasy in the house.
Yeah, tyranny of toddlers is also a very real thing. But yeah, I'd say probably like 2-hour stretches here and there, and it's like smattering throughout the day. Very much a time warp. If you've ever seen the movie Groundhog Day, that's what I'm living, and that's what I've been living for the past few weeks.
Well, it was actually a really good movie, and some of those days were really, really good. So it actually sounds great. Is that what you're saying?
It's unbelievable. Growing a family, we're in the trenches right now, though. That's for sure. And yes, I'm likening it to war.
Being a dad is sort of the same as you're the guy. Scott is the guy that talks about football as being the same as war. No, we hate that on this show. Okay, so Scott, welcome back with you and your big growing family. We're happy to have you back on the show. And Mike, you were holding down the fort last Friday because I was on my honeymoon, and you filled in with our other brother Andy. That was a great episode.
Can Scott, I just say I'm the only one here who hasn't taken a leave of absence. I'm having a kid. I'm getting married. All this crap. I'm putting off my life for the show. You guys are living it up.
Mikey has denied 4 marriage proposals and 3 procreation requests to continue on the show without interruption.
I haven't missed a single episode. More or less.
More or less. Okay.
Well, Andy and I had a great time.
You guys, that was a Scott, did you get a chance to check out Mikey and Andy's special edition episode?
Yeah, Andy really had the mood lighting going, similar to what you got going here. The tannest on the show, I think it's more the tungsten light you got flashing on your face here, buddy.
What do you think? More like this? Oh, that's not good. Okay. Let's go back to my tan look. There we go. That's where I look the best. All right. So speaking, Scott, appropriately of all of this dad stuff, we had the U.S. Open in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, over the weekend at Oakmont Country Club. And the winner of
the U.S. Open was J.J. Spaun, a father who said he started his day going to CVS at 3 a.m. because his daughter was throwing up, ended the day winning the U.S. Open on Father's Day, perhaps the most dad life Sunday of all time. Scott, as a new father, give me your thoughts on this. Did you get a chance to watch any of Spaun on the very poorly received broadcast of the U.S. Open?
Yes, I absolutely love this win. I mean, first off, if you added the baby with that Scotty Scheffler had with the poop on his back, that would have only made this even more so dad life.
But here we go. The wife couldn't have gone to CVS the day he's playing a U.S. Open? What? Babe, I have the U.S. Open today. I know, but last time I went to CVS at 3:30 in the morning. Are you kidding me? That's wild. That's insane. That is not your responsibility when you're playing the U.S. Open that day. Where's the selflessness in this marriage? That's what the headline should be about. Selfish marriage, Spaun overcomes. That is actually probably the best take there is on this. And you know what? As a newly married guy, okay, let me give him and his wife a piece of advice. When you are going to go bring home the bacon at the U.S. Open, your wife has to go pick up the stuff at CVS. Scott, can you attest for this?
Crazy to me.
Just put a couple of years under your belt there as a newly married man, and then you guys will see this back and forth is a little more cloudy, a little more shaky, a little more.
Scott, I think, trust me, I got it all figured out. You see this ring? On 4 weeks of matrimony. Okay.
Let me show you something. I got it all figured out.
There you go, Mike. There you go. Speaking of matrimony, that we do have to talk about a newly matrimonized. Is that a term? Guy in the NFL. We'll talk about that later. But I just want to throw up. Here is the putt.
Wow. Whoa. I got chills. Oh, there she is. There's the culprit. She had a
poor guy.
He looks so tired. He looks so tired. Oh God! Thank God it's over.
Oh, wow, that is a tough day. All right. Jokes aside, that's a very impressive putt right there. Very impressive. Also, but do you guys see? I mean, Scott, you had it on TV all day. Like the broadcast. You see all the people complaining about the broadcast of this and just kind of how the TV product was for the viewer, both because of just the natural situation with the weather and then just the way that they shot this course. It was just apparently very boring for everybody. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I get why people were getting frustrated because it's such a vast departure from what the Masters are. I mean, the Masters, it's honestly just picturesque every single hole, and obviously you have varying degrees of that. But like this one, it's Oakmont. It's a links course. It's not the prettiest thing. It's very Pittsburghy. It's a tough, difficult course that you got to have grit and get through. And showing us the church pews and all of that in the sand and bunker and stuff like that. Like it was awesome there, but I get why the average fan would probably be like, hey, this looks like my Muni course, like 3 miles down the road.
This looks like McKay Creek in Hillsboro, Oregon. It was not. You're right. It is very Pittsburghian. It's just like, yeah, this looks like it's in Pennsylvania. So it actually did have a unique identity. Here's my question for you guys, because you mentioned it, Scott, like he kind of came out of nowhere. Let me read this off to you. He has had, JJ Spaun, he's had one top 25 finish in a major ever in his career. He played in the Masters, I think, in 22, or that was in 22. He finished 37th at the PGA Championship this year. He did not play in a major in 2024, and he only played in one major in 2023 and missed the cut. So he kind of really came out of nowhere for this win. And my question to you guys is, do you guys think that golf is the sport where you can have such a dramatic change so quickly because of the mental aspect of the sport?
Yes. It's like the most mood-based sport, probably. Like, you can fall back in your training in football, your technique, I think more so in other sports, but golf is so completely mental that like managing your mood is like the whole thing. So if you're facing a guy who's in a bad mood and you're in a good mood that day, I don't know. Like, that's a very oversimplified thing, but I get what you're saying about how you can rise and fall and like these huge changes are so you're able to have them in golf more so than
other sport.
Right. And also, I would say you guys, like I always loved when football games were super, super rainy because so many guys are
Played in the
bothered
right
by
spot.
it. What?
You
They're
played
what?
in the right spot, Portland, Oregon. No
Yeah.
wonder.
Thank you. Please show some respect to the Northwest, you Californian. And so, so many different guys, so many guys are bothered by the rain. And obviously this weekend, a bunch of guys were bothered by the rain. Like Bryson was having like a little bit of a meltdown and Rory was pissed. And so I think when things are really, really rainy and bad conditions, it also levels the playing field, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. First off, Rory shouldn't be mad. I mean, he grew up in the rainy part of the world in Northern Ireland. Like, what? This is like your bread and butter, dude. You should be able to play and honestly excel in this weather. This is like the original gameplay, golf.
Yeah. Shout out to
Belfast,
Ireland.
Talking to my brothers and my dad, they were out actually at St. Andrews playing the old course over the past week. So, like,
whoa, dude, what? They're in Scotland?
Yeah, they were in Scotland for the past like 14 days or something. So,
lost all gone over that, and they're playing at St. Andrews. That place is incredible.
Oh my gosh, I had, I mean, I hate using the term, but fear of missing out here. Like raising a kid, had to pass on the St. Andrews golfing. So he's gonna get an earful of that come like, I don't know, when he's 10, 12, something around there. Take him out to the golf course, be like, hey buddy, guess what? When you were born, you actually kept me from going and enjoying.
Wow. Do you have any idea how much you cost me? That's a you know who I could have been?
He is starting off in a hole with his father. He's going to have to prove himself. Well, go ahead, Scott.
I was going to go back to your original question and talking about like the mentality. I know we've had this conversation before, and we were going back and forth as to whether or not like golf is the most mentally difficult sport. And
yeah,
I say it's absolutely top 5, maybe top 3. I would say one caveat or pushback to it being the number 1 is like you look at what happened in Roland Garros on the women's side with Boyson, where she like ranks 365th in the world, right? And then she went on an absolute tear in the French Open and beat top 10 ranked people like 2 or 3 in a row. Now jumped all the way to 65th. She finished in the semifinals, like all of that kind of stuff. Lost to the eventual champion in Coco Gauff. So like there are different, I think tennis and golf are probably the 2 in which you can really have those moments.
I think so. Also, like it's just, what you said, you're playing against yourself. And this is when you hear like professional golfers talk about it. It's like, oh, I'm not playing against anyone. I think this was a big thing that Rory was saying when he won the Masters months ago, talking about, because he had all that pressure, all that external pressure, but he's like, yeah, I'm just playing against myself here. And I think when you're not playing against yourself in football, you're not really playing against yourself in basketball, but with golf. And I think that's why it has such a mental aspect to where we can get a kind of no-name guy coming out of nowhere to come win the US Open. So there we have it. Perfect little Father's Day sporting win for Scott on his Father's Day. Yeah, sure. Happy Father's Day, Scott, by the way. Belated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no,
Mikey.
Happy future Father's Day to you guys.
Okay, well, hey,
thanks.
Settle down. Okay, settle down there, Scott. All right, you're working on the replacement rate already for us. I'll be there a couple years. Okay, so there we have it. U.S. Open. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Pivoting here to another large sporting event, the NBA Finals. And this is going to sound like kind of silly at first when I bring it up. Okay, obviously the finals are tied at 2-2, and tonight we have Game 5. But this made so many headlines, was going crazy all over X, Twitter, whatever you call it nowadays. It's Stephen A. Smith playing solitaire while watching the game. Okay. And actually, I thought this had a photo of him playing solitaire. This is wrong here. But anyway, you've probably seen it if you've scrolled on social media at all. Stephen A. Smith sitting on the sideline playing solitaire during the game. And people are actually really, really upset by this. So just for those listening, his tweet says, can't stand how he's trying to make this into a cute joke. Mass writer layoffs at your company, and you're getting $20 million a year to be so deeply invested in your job that you have solitaire open mid-play on your phone at the NBA Finals. And people are defending him somehow. Because you can see right here, Stephen A. Smith, after like getting a bunch of backlash for this, he like leaned into it and posted this photo here of himself playing solitaire. So
right move. It's the right move to lean into it.
Always lean into it. What are your guys' takes on this, on both Stephen A. Smith and then on doing this, and actually like the broader picture of if the sports analysts
like if this is really a bad look for him.
Is it bad that when I saw this happen and I saw it on Twitter and all that kind of stuff that I immediately thought of Mikey? And I'd be like, this is exactly what Mikey would do.
Hey, Mike! Mikey would be playing.
Let me tell you something. I take that as a complete compliment. And I will defend Stephen A here. Why? He is a veteran. Okay. He could analyze sports in his sleep at this point. And sometimes it helps to have an additional stimulus going and to be able to digest information better. I know this. Sometimes I can like learn better or do something when I'm doing something else at the same time. Like having 2 or 3 things going at once makes it so I can do the main thing better.
Okay. Interesting.
And so I completely understand and defend Stephen A's approach here. And you can only knock him if the production changes, you know, and if the next episode comes out and he's stumbling and he doesn't know what he's talking about, then you can blame the solitaire. But if it comes out and he's still, you know, hitting
top
shots,
of his game?
Yeah, top of his game.
Yeah,
I say that's his process.
I agree with you, Mikey. If he was as frazzled as he was when he was going back and forth with LeBron James and starting to say a couple different things like somebody was alive when they weren't or vice versa and things like that, if that started happening after he was playing solitaire, then we'd have a problem. But this like outrage coming from a Twitter guy, like, come on. Like, why do we have to attack a dude when he's still he's clipping at 95% every single time he steps behind a microphone? Like, what are we doing?
As we have said on this show, this man is perhaps the greatest living orator that we have on the globe at this time. Even if some of his takes are stupid, he does communicate them very, very well. But here, okay, just to let me push back a little bit here on behalf of the Twitter warriors. This guy does say most employees get fired for playing solitaire on the job. The details during timeouts, players, coaches, etc. It's insightful. You are famous for lambasting elite professionals who fail in big moments. This is the NBA Finals, and you didn't do your job. Any credibility to that?
No, that's not his job. Isn't his job? That's not his job. His job comes after that. This is like making fun of somebody's breakfast routine before they get to the office. He's not in the office yet. This isn't his job.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point. So here, we're saying that they are critiquing the inputs instead of the outputs, and truly, actually, the inputs are almost no one's business. It's like, you should have no judgment of how I train or prepare if I come here and I'm killing it in the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What are the fruits of his labor? That's what we should be concerned with. Like, he's obviously doing very well in how he's producing. And also, like, if we're really this concerned, we should really just strap him to a chair, duct tape him, tape his eyes open the entire game. Can't blink, because then you're missing something.
Yeah. He's got to learn from you, Scott. I don't know if Steven has any kids. You got to learn how to just have his eyes glued to a sport or a television.
You know what's also more damning about this is the fact that, like, hey, maybe this is a problem with the NBA. It's so boring at times, the gameplay, even in the championship, that you have to play solitaire. This is the guy who loves ball.
That's a great point.
Let us get into that, because Scott, you've been absent doing your fatherhood duties. We haven't gotten to talk to you about the NBA Finals, but there's a lot of different opinions on it. Obviously, like I said, the series is tied 2-2, but a lot of people are talking about how it's a very boring NBA Finals, maybe because of the small market teams, maybe because of the way that the broadcast has been, or what have you. What's been your take on the finals so far?
Yeah, this cuts against what I just said, but I've actually enjoyed this finals strictly because I have a soft spot in my heart for the Pacers, having grown up in Indiana for close to a decade in childhood. So like, I got to see Reggie Miller and Travis Best and like all those dudes back in the day balling it out, Rick Smits down low. So, I love seeing them in the finals and in this position. In terms of the gameplay, like the up and down nature of it, I feel like this has been par for the course for the entire playoffs. Like, you get a 20-point lead and then all of a sudden you lose it at the end. Like, great fun for that final 5 minutes, but in terms of the gameplay and basketball, like I get it. If there was a 20-point swing, like Stephen A is probably like, all right, this one's pretty much wrapped up. I forget when he was actually on his phone and at what point of the game it was, but there are moments where we're all looking at our phone during the game. Like, I get it, we're not getting paid for it, but it's not going to change our output, like you guys are saying.
We're all at some point looking at our phone. I would say though, the difference is I'm probably not playing solitaire. That's not my phone check app. What is your guys' this game is a little bit boring right now, let me look at my phone. Mikey, I know for your generation that happens every 7 seconds. For me,
Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans. What is
My
your
town's
phone-
getting raided right now. One second. That's
Plan.
mine.
Angry Birds? Okay, Mikey, Clash of Clans. Scott, yours was probably the
Oh,
app
Temple Run.
where don't joke about that. That's my airplane game because I'm afraid of flying, and so I always lock in on Temple Run right before takeoff so I can be really locked in.
Yeah, smart. Put your neck down in that position for the crash. Good.
Wow, yeah, it's the British position. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Scott, what's your go-to? Oh, I'm a little bit bored app. I was going to say perhaps the baby monitor video checking app.
Oh, yep. That's been the go-to so far.
Speaking of Twitter and kind of like Twitter culture with the NBA, okay, we've been talking about like branding and trying to create superstars and stuff like that with these NBA finals, okay? And have you seen the Twitter nickname for Tyrese Haliburton, especially when he was playing against New York? Have you seen it? I mean, it's a little bit borderline. Do you know what I'm talking about, Scott?
No.
The Haliban. Okay, that's what everybody's been calling him. Okay, and then Sports Center and the corporate media has been trying to create this nickname for Haliburton, calling him the Moment, and people are not having it at all. Okay, and this person says the Moment is a government mandated nickname.
That's
It feels
funny.
very, very, very cringe. I understand kind of the inappropriateness of the previous nickname. However, it is very funny and it's very authentic to NBA Twitter right here. But I think this just kind of speaks to the sterile nature of corporate media and them trying to, fit in with actual fans here. What's your take on this?
This is the unflavored checks to the fruity pebbles of the Haliban.
There you go. Wow, what a weird snack for you to go to, Scott. What kind of family did you grow up in? I hope you're not buying
Fruity
unflavored
Pebbles.
checks for the pantry at the Williams household for your poor children.
No. It was nostalgia and desire. I remember the taste and the flavor and it just being great. I haven't had Fruity Pebbles in too long. I need to go get a box.
Yeah, top tier cereal. Actually, I mean, I'm kind of more of a Lucky Charms Tricks guy, but Fruity Pebbles, I mean, we're in the same ballpark there. Yeah. Mike,
you guys should start eating Honey Nut Cheerios because you guys are married, and so now you have to start worrying about your cholesterol.
You just got to go with the basic Cheerios.
No, you need the honey in there for your cholesterol. It's Tyrese Haliburton. They voted on it. The people voted on his name. This is the implementation of the Moment is anti-democracy. What did you say?
Exactly.
It's dictatorship.
It is.
The people voted.
It's top down. We don't like that.
Yeah.
Hashtag no kings. Okay. All right. This is ESPN trying to be a king and trying to force this nickname down our throat. And we, the people, are not having it. All right. So we've got Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight. We'll see what happens there. Speaking of cringe, and this is going to what is the transition? That's the word I'm looking for. Transition us beautifully into some NFL stuff. Okay, so speaking of cringe, the Cincinnati Bengals, Scott, Ohio. Okay, have this. This is their new motivational sign in their locker room. Okay, a Bengal is fat. PHAT, physical, hungry, accountable, teammate. And this kind of falls along the same lines as like ESPN media trying to create the nickname The Moment. It feels very corporate, not real, inauthentic. And I bet you the players hate this. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
This is like in The Office when Creed's manager for a day and he starts making acronyms. What is the body B in business?
Body.
I think this is the exact same.
That is a great take on this. And this would not motivate me whilst in the gym, I would say.
A Bengal is teammate.
Yeah.
What?
I am.
It is your birthday period.
Yes.
This is stating fact. This isn't like putting out ideals to strive for. This is just like stating things. A Bengal has 4 legs and tail. That's like the same thing.
Hungry? Yeah, I didn't get my unflavored checks this morning. Okay.
No, this screams. I know you guys had it on your teams with every year you had a new phrase for your team. And some years it just totally whiffs. and the captain, I don't know, was high on something else and wanted. So like this reminds me of one of ours, which is the hungriest dog eats.
Oh.
It's like, no, sometimes the hungriest dog dies, starved, and doesn't make it.
Who do you think within the organization is in charge of making those? Like, is that like some media intern, or like who's got the authority to be like, yeah, let's go with this?
It's some guy in a dark office in the back who's rifling through files and drawers, and he thinks it's a really good one. I got it. I got this year's. Here we go. It's so good.
Associate media director.
Hey, watch it. Watch it. I was one of those once for a team. And the team, I didn't make this slogan, but their slogan was and still is #respect all, fear none. I just think that's so stupid and terrible. You know, it doesn't motivate me. It's very, very meh. And that's online here with the Bengals. All right. So anyway, that was just a way to transition to the Bengals because Scott, I wanted to get your thoughts because we haven't gotten to ask you about Shemar Stewart with the Bengals and all the drama going on with him, with his contract. So this, for those just listening, first round draft pick, Shemar Stewart has now left mandatory camp. Stewart has been attending team activities, but without a signed contract and with the Bengals asking for certain clauses, no longer. And this person has quote tweeted and said, another sign that he's getting some terrible advice. Scott, where do you stand on all this drama? We haven't gotten to hear your take on this.
Look, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence here because one, I think the Bengals have been notoriously terrible, and it's not just a matter of me thinking they have been notoriously terrible at dealing with contracts, and they've been putting themselves in financial corners with a lot of their big name players. Like obviously we're seeing Trey Hendrickson, and that hasn't even resolved. And I think there's an element here. There's an element here that I get the sense that the rookie is finding an opportunity to try and take advantage of the situation, or at least shoehorn himself in there because he knows that there may be a little more money for him in the whole mix here. But I hate the idea that all of these rookies, and I think it's going to be a growing issue with teams as they're coming out of NIL and bigger dollar amounts and all that kind of stuff. Because we saw Quinn Ewers going from $8 million a year to $800,000 a year, and we're going to be seeing a lot of guys coming in and demanding a certain level of guaranteed money that the NFL just hasn't caught up with. That organizations haven't caught up with that in rookie deals and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a growing issue. He's just at the tip of the spear, the vanguard of all this stuff. It's sad to see. And I don't know if he's the one to necessarily be the one advancing the charge on this. But of course it's happening with the Bengals.
Yeah, of course it's happening with the Bengals. I mean, when was he drafted? He was drafted like mid first round, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like a little bit later in the first round. And it's like, my man is acting like he's a generational number one overall pick. And just, this is kind of a tough way to earn the respect of your teammates also as a rookie. I just feel like, don't you think some veterans are like, bro, get in here. Like, that would piss me off.
Yeah, but all that's out the window now because they have money. They come in with money. And so, like, the NFL has lost a lot of the prestige in terms of the transition from college to NFL. Like, a lot of the respect of the league is gone.
This is actually one of the biggest downsides of all these college kids earning money. You know, I used to be against the NCAA and don't let them make any money, and then I was for it, and now you know what? I'm going back. I am just a paper bag in the wind, depending on the
because the NFL, the respect of the NFL from these guys comes from a place of the NFL can change my life.
Yes.
And now that's kind of out the window. And so
that's a great
stuff
point.
like this.
Now,
do you know what the clauses in his contract are that are like the hangups?
There was something with some wording about an injury. It was something that was like very standard in NFL rookie contracts. I can't remember what it was. I should have bookmarked it, but it was something like that's okay if you don't. Yeah, it was with guaranteed money, basically.
Yeah.
I think. Wasn't it, Scott? You know?
Yeah, it's boiling down to guaranteed money. Granted, I looked at the contract, but it essentially looked like a Rorschach ink blot to me at this point in time due to my lack of sleep. So I don't know the details. But
Rorschach ink blot. What do you see here? A butterfly fighting a dog? What do you see?
Yes. Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Ink is just molded together and it's making some sort of strange smiley face.
Yeah.
All right, so we're probably going to be seeing more and more of this, and it's just par for the course for the Bengals. With all, go ahead.
I was going to say it kind of sucks too, because as you guys are talking about, like college players coming out now feel as though they've already made it due to getting and all that kind of stuff. And there's a diminishing glitz and glam to what the NFL originally was. And like, I get the sense that they've lost the ability, or they've lost the urgency, the sense of urgency to earn their keep and to earn their spot. And it's just because you get drafted does not mean you end up on a roster. I mean, if you're drafted in the first round, the chances are you will, just strictly because they have financial investment that has to go toward that. So you'll probably get a shot. But at the end of the day, like, dude, you haven't made it yet until that 55-man roster is in ink. And that's it. But I feel like people think they've already made it once they get drafted. And this might be a product of that.
Yeah. And I think that we're going to see more and more of this because of all the nonsense with these guys making too much crazy money in college. Let's stick here with the AFC North, perhaps the most interesting division of all football. Okay. And Scott, I mean, a lot of big news while you were gone. I don't know. This is like when Jim was gone at the Stanford branch. Okay. And then he came back and Kelly Kapoor was asking, or we were trying to fill him in on all the new things that have gone on. And Scott, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Okay. I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if you had Twitter while you were hanging out with your baby, but Aaron Rodgers in the AFC North with the Steelers, also married. Okay. He just bursted that out secretly. And someone said, this is how you find out someone in your golf group is married. Just all of a sudden, oh yeah, I've been married for a few months right here. I respect him being very secretive about his marriage. And congrats to Aaron Rodgers. Me and Aaron Rodgers, actually, we probably got married around the same time. Thoughts, one, on Aaron Rodgers being married, and two, on Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
Well, congratulations to Aaron. I think it's awesome. I mean, anybody getting married, that's one of the coolest things. And I wrote you a little note, Nick, saying the same thing. It's the best journey and adventure you could ever go on with somebody. And obviously that's me talking, I'm 4 years in. So hopefully, God willing, have plenty of time on this adventure. But yeah, so kudos to him, shout out. But not terribly excited about him joining the division here. A little worried because we're the ones who don't seem to have our stuff together, which is, par for the course. But at the same time, everybody else in the division has a Hall of Famer at quarterback, and we have a huge question mark. Oh, actually, no, we got Flacco. He's actually he could be a Hall of Famer.
True. Have you been seeing though? Like I'm seeing all the who are these guys that actually like keep stats during mini camp and like are putting out all the stats. And it looks like Shedeur Sanders has actually been playing pretty well in minicamp. What is it? How do you feel about this?
Well, I say stop it. Just stop it. Minicamp performance. Like, okay, guys.
These are the guys who like after practice were like, dude, I had 6 tackles.
It was like this one time, Nick, I remember vividly having this conversation with you because I was like trying to find my spot on the roster here, or like getting a starting spot at Yale. And you were like, what are you talking about, man? You just had 6 interceptions on the Sunset football field playing with Matt Fay.
That is funny of me.
That's really funny.
Hey, actually, you see me? Okay. I had 6 picks against Matt and Mikey Fay on the Sunset football field. So yeah, I wonder how Aaron Rodgers is going to be with the Steelers here. I mean, a little bit past his prime. The Jets stuff didn't really work out. However, I don't think anything works out with any quarterback with the Jets. And this might be his Brett Favre to the Vikings moment. When Brett Favre went to the Jets, that obviously was a disaster as well. But then he left again, went to the Vikings, and then he played fantastically. Yeah. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to have that kind of resurgence in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think he's got one more go in him. I don't think he had an opportunity. I mean, if you look statistically at what he did last year with the Jets, even though it was very underwhelming, like he was actually doing quite solidly. He performed better in a multitude of statistics than most of the, lauded quarterbacks out there right now, like CJ Stroud. And granted, yeah, I know he was year 2 quarterback, but everybody was on top of him for being rookie of the year, all that kind of stuff. And Rodgers performed quietly to a pretty high degree, even with a absolutely garbage roster and coaching organization situation. Like he was able to do something with nothing. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to do with a very, very well structured, if not too structured organizational framework in the Steelers. So I think this is probably the best place he could have ended up. Now, if Belichick was still in the league, that would have been the ideal spot for him as well. But I think this is the second best and prime spot for him to finish out his career.
Yeah, the Steelers are going to have a really glamorous 9-8 season again, aren't they? Great. No, I think I'm with you a little bit on that. We will see. This, the Steelers not necessarily known for offense, but I like, him with DK Metcalf, superstar potential right there. So
I would say, Aaron. So yeah, they're probably if Aaron weren't there, they would probably be looking at a 9-8 season, maybe 8-9, all that kind of stuff. But I think with Aaron Rodgers, he actually gets you probably 3 wins per season strictly because of him and how he manages the game. Early on in his career, it was probably like closer to 5 or 6 games that it was just Aaron winning you the game. But right now, I think he still gets you about 3. So I think the Steelers are going to come out and actually surprise some people just because they have such a commander offensive mind in the backfield, being able to like slice and dice people that they may not have otherwise been able to do in the past.
Plus, the league has never seen married Aaron Rodgers before. I mean, he's going to add a whole new wrinkle. He's got a lot of power with that ring on his finger. Also, they do have, I think, like they've been calling it the sort of the revenge tour because of the Steelers' schedule. Like they play a lot of the NFC North teams. They play the Packers. They play the Bears. They play the Jets in week 1. So you can have a little bit of extra motivation probably to prove all of these teams, hey, I still got it in my advanced years. All right. Last thing that I want to bring up today, because we talked about like some of these celebrities who are backing sports teams, like kind of super fans. Like we always talk about McConaughey. Scott, while you were gone, I don't know if you got to see Mikey and I. We talked about Timothy Chalamet every episode, basically every episode, because of the New York Knicks. Really, really good branding situation there for them. And this is perhaps for a team that has a terrible brand, one of the biggest things that could happen for them. All right. And that is the Chicago White Sox with the Pope he wore a White Sox hat in the Vatican. Okay. And I don't know. This is the type of thing that can bring an organization back from the dead. What is your take on Pope Leo rocking the White Sox hat here?
They literally have God on their side.
It's the only thing that can bring them out of the depths. They have been a hot heap of garbage for the past few years. So the fact that they're even getting this sort of name recognition, free marketing at the highest level, literally billions of people looking at this guy with this hat on, and now they're like, what does that even say?
What is the Sox? What is this? A second-tier team in Chicago? The forgotten team on the north side of Chicago in a middling sports league that needs to do a lot of changing? The only thing that will save the MLB is the hand of God and the branding of the Pope. But I was going to say, do you guys think that this is more prominent or less prominent or the same prominence as some of our other favorite celebrity sports people, such as Chalamet, such as McConaughey? I mean, are those guys on the same level as the Pope? That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. McConaughey's so outspoken and he, has so much energy around the team. A Pope around your team, you're just going to get like a subdued, somebody put a hat on him and put a jersey on him for a second and he can't really show a lot of support. So it's different. You get eyes, but you don't get like a lot of, he does not really selling it, the way McConaughey does.
It's just very visual. That's true. McConaughey like hops on podcasts. He gives speeches and stuff. Scott, what's your take?
Yeah, the Pope doesn't give speeches, so
Well, I mean,
it was in Latin.
I mean, like,
is the Pope, Red Sox.
Is he in Latin? I mean, is the Pope going to be at a Chicago White Sox practice and give a speech after batting practice?
I think the one huge edge that he has outside of having God or on his side and all that kind of stuff is the fact that he has decades of fandom underneath his belt, whereas McConaughey, Chalamet's what, like 12? So like McConaughey, I don't know, 40. We really only started getting used to them being fans probably within the past 15 years. Chalamet was still a baby then, but I mean, like, you get to see, it's so strange seeing an American as a Pope. Like seeing this, just like, it's kind of still throwing me for a loop here. Like a Pope wearing a baseball hat, 1, weird. 2, him like being able to speak fluent English, like
no accent. No accent.
Yeah, this is so strange. Just all of the above. So I think he brings way more clout than a Chalamet.
Yeah, he does.
Go ahead. Having an American Pope, like, It's like he's gonna start doing endorsement deals and like he's gonna be on Cameo. Like an American Pope will lean into the platform opportunity financially more so than any Pope from any other country. I think
He's on Instagram
Yeah,
live.
he's on Instagram.
You know who's gonna
What's
get?
up, guys? That's funny.
It's me, the Pope. You know who's actually getting the biggest benefit? Okay, the White Sox. Yeah, you got that on Villanova. The guy went to Villanova. He had classmates that were at Villanova. They're like, oh, what is his first name? Robert. Pope, right? They're like, oh, that's Bob. Bob from Nova. Oh, that dude was crazy.
He's so weird.
He used to cheat off me every test. He's the Pope.
So there is something, I know it's kind of strange. We're still getting used to it, but there's also something beautiful culturally about the Pope being American. It's our first American Pope. And he's leaning into sports already. Okay. So it's kind of a nice thing.
The only way Chalamet could even like try it, like he has to press the NOS like Vin Diesel on his car in Fast and Furious right now. The only way is if Paul Atreides somehow wears a Knicks hat in the next Dune movie, and that'll maybe get him in the realm of.
Chalamet is such a crazy fan, and he's not a bandwagon fan. I saw videos. You said he's 12. He's actually 29, and I know his age without having to look it up, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not. But when he was actually 12, there's videos of him on the streets of New York getting interviewed by Knicks people. He's a diehard. So I would say if there were to be an actor or a celebrity to try and sneak something into a movie, it would be tough to get it. It would be him. It would be tough to get something past a director as astute as Denis Villeneuve. And yeah, I say it the French way because I went to film school. So I don't think, it could happen.
Oh, you graduated from film school?
No, I attended.
I did.
I attended.
Oh, you graduated? No. There we have it. Rainy golf on Father's Day. The Pope wearing a baseball hat. Stephen A. Smith playing solitaire on his phone. And Scott is back on the show with another child. Scott, it's good to have you back on the show today.
Thank you. No, it's good to be back. Good to hang out with you guys. Thank you for keeping it afloat.
Yeah.
You didn't need me, is what I'm saying. So I just enjoy coming to hang out.
Me and Mikey, we're going crazy.
It's like you were in a boat and there's a leak and you have a bucket and you keep putting the bucket out.
We got a bucket about this big.
Keep it afloat.
Keep it afloat. Float your boat. Whatever floats your boat. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. And we will see you on Wednesday with some information about Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We will see you next time.